Hey, hello, I'm JulieJo. Welcome to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. I am so glad that you're here. If you're not new here, welcome back. Today we're going to be watching someone we literally just watched last video, but it's because I found information out that I need to talk about. I was having a time and I have a bleeding heart sometimes and my heart bled a little much and I was like, fuck this, she doesn't deserve that. So I'm going to talk a little bit more in depth about Jennifer Anderson. You know who popped in my head when I said that? Brittany Anderson. And if you don't know Brittany Anderson, that was what it was several years of covering her, and she's just so wild. She's no longer an MLM. She's probably doing this other financial scam. I don't fucking know. So I need to look into that, make sure she's not scamming people again, because she's really enjoys doing that. Don't forget, if you want to support the channel for free, you can simply hit the subscribe button and the like button. I greatly appreciate that. Let's get started.
I don't care about you and him. I don't care about what has been. I only care about your soft skin, cause we're still sleeping in my head. I don't care about you and him. I don't care about what has been. I only care about your soft skin, cause we're still sleeping in my head.
Okay, so Jennifer Anderson, I covered her in my last video on Scentsy, the most recent video, and it's called Mass Exodus in Scentsy and Another Disappointing MLM Leader. But I got this comment towards the beginning of when the video was put out, and I was like, oh, well, damn. This person said, I don't feel bad for this lady. I've seen her bully, scream, and stare at the screen in desperation for recruits when it was starting to go sideways. Looks like she's lost a lot of weight. Eva has done some videos on her being completely rude. If you don't know Eva, she is my editor and she's the best. And you can see her channel down below. Her channel is in every description of my video. So of every one of my videos for the past like year or so. So feel free to go subscribe to her. I think she's wonderful. And I read that and I said, well, I guess it's time that we take a little bit more in-depth look at her. So what I did was I found a video, and this one says, I can't take it anymore. Below the phrase in the caption, I can't take it anymore, she says results may not be typical, but they can be yours. Results based on effort, skill, time, and grit. Oh, I almost read grift. Did you hear me pause there? And then she put the Scentsy income disclosure statement. Also, if you're like, JulieJo, why do you look that way? And why do you sound that way? My nose is stuffy and it's my last 12-hour shift of the week. So I'm hanging on by a fucking thread. So is Scentsy. But I'm hanging on a little bit harder than Scentsy. I think they're gonna fall first. All right, so let's watch this rude lady. I think this may be a little bit of a longer video because her video is 27 minutes. And like I said, the caption was, I can't take it anymore. So let's hear what the fuck she can't take anymore. Her Ray Dunn mug makes me cringe. Like, Ray Dunn is just so overdone. Huh? All right, let's watch.
Hey, it's Jennifer Anderson, your favorite Scentsy girl. I need to make sure you can hear me okay, so hopefully someone can come on and tell me that you can hear me, because when I set my phone down, sometimes people can't hear me. So if you're on, say hi so I know who it is, and tell me that you can hear me. And if you're watching the replay, just comment replay so I know if you're who's seen this. Can you guys hear me? Can you just give me like a thumbs up if you can? Oh, good. Okay, listen. So I'm outside. Katie, you are so sweet to me. Thank you. I love you. Fellow boss lady, Katie Farner. I'm so glad you guys can hear me, and hopefully you can hear my wind chimes. I just got wind chimes, you guys. I've been wanting wind chimes for years. I love wind chimes. I just love being outside and like living outside and being outside like as much as I possibly can. And so I've always wanted like really fabulous wind chimes. And so actually, let me just show you how cute they're just hanging on the back of my chair right now, but they're like teal and blue and slate.
She's like, I can't take it anymore for her caption, but she's sitting here talking about her goddamn wind chimes. I'm about to say I can't take it anymore either. I just want you to get to the point. I don't want to hear about your wind chimes. I don't care. Oh, I am in a silly, goofy mood today. Silly, goofy. I'm also running, like I said, on fumes. The only thing that I will know after this video that I keep in my head so that I can function will be ultrasound.
And white. Okay, boom. Can you still hear me now that I repositioned my phone? Hopefully you can hear me okay. So listen, I do not come live on my personal page very much because, let's be real, it's a little bit scary. And I go live on my team page like all the time. Well, sort of all the time, but I do like live trainings with my team all the time where I'm talking and like people get to see, you know, the real me and like what it's really like and what I think and how I feel and all of that stuff. So I don't come live on my own personal page very much, but like I literally can't take it anymore. And so I had to come live and just do a video because a post wasn't right and a picture wasn't right and there were no words that I could say. And you're probably like, what is she freaking out about? Guys, like, I gotta tell you something though, for real. So our world is absolutely bananas right now. Bananas. And I don't watch the news ever. I don't even, we don't have cable and I don't even subscribe to the news channels. So if I know anything of the news, it's like what's going on Facebook. And even I try and stay away from that. Like I have to protect my heart and my brain, and you know, being like watching the news isn't good for my heart and my brain, and watching the news isn't good for like my anxiety and like all of that. So I try not to even watch the news, seriously. And so that might make me ignorant, but like I'm cool with it. I'm totally cool with it because I gotta live in like this happy bubble of my world, and I have to protect my daughter and my heart and my brain. And like I run a business, so I gotta make sure my brain is right and my mind is right, and I gotta have a good mindset and stay positive, and like, so that's where I'm at. And if you think I'm crazy or ignorant or dumb for not watching the news, that's cool, but you don't pay my bills and you don't live with me and I'm not married to you. So as much as I love you, I'm fine with it.
Why the smugness? Why did you get defensive and smug about it? It doesn't. Move on, Jen. Move on.
Because I truly, you know, something I've learned over the years is that, and I really believe this, and I try and teach my team this, and I try and teach the people that I mentor this, is that there's only two people's opinions of you that matter. And the first one is God's opinion of you. And you know what, to be honest with you, God's opinion of you never, ever, ever changes. It's always the same. He always loves you, and there's nothing that you could ever do to make him not love you more, and there's nothing you couldn't do to make him not love you, and there's nothing you could do to make him love you less or love you more, and there's nothing.
So then why does his opinion matter that much if it never, ever, ever, ever changes?
You couldn't do to make him love you less or love you more. His opinion of you never changes.
That's interesting. So then do you not believe in hell? You know, when they say things like that, I think of their theology and I'm like, well, I don't know.
You are his child, and he created you, and he desires good things for you, and he desires for you to live in communion with him, and that's it. So God's opinion of you never, ever changes. The only other person's opinion of you that should ever matter would be
yourself. I have a feeling.
Your spouse, if you're married. If you're not married, it's no one else. It's just God's.
Oh. Okay, whatever.
And if you are married, it's your spouse. Your spouse's opinion of you matters. You know, and because that's what marriage is. Marriage is not, you know.
Marriage is a partnership. That's what marriage is. That's a weird way to phrase that. Now, as someone who has not had a successful marriage and is getting divorced, fuck me, right? Who knows? Maybe I'm wrong. Marriage is about partnership and living life together. And it's not about what they think about you necessarily. I mean, we could break it down a little bit more, I guess, but I don't really want to.
Like, screw you, I don't care what you think. Like, marriage is a partnership and marriage is being together. And so those are the only two people's opinions of you that matter. But honestly, it's not your kids' opinion of you. It's not your parents, your aunts, your uncles, your grandparents, any of those things. Like, two people's opinions of you that matter. Number one is God, and number two is your spouse if you're married. And if you're not married, it's just God's. And God's opinion of you never changes. So if you're so...
Listen, I understand the idea that people's opinions of you, who cares, essentially. But also, if you care about that person, they care about you and love you, and you respect them and trust them, their opinion of you, in my opinion, should matter. Maybe that's a hot take. But if you respect and love them and cherish them and they feel the same way about you, like your best friend's opinion of you, that should matter, I think. And if you don't like their opinion of you, maybe they shouldn't be your best friend. Or maybe you should look in the mirror and see what's going on. Or maybe you definitely need to have a conversation with them. Maybe that's a hot take, whatever. I don't care. My friends, their opinion of me matters because I trust them and I respect them. My family, not so much, to be fair. But my friends, absolutely.
So concerned about what other people think of you, then like let that go, man. Let that go, because that's going to eat you alive, and that's going to ruin your brain and ruin your heart and ruin your mind. Like, let it go. Okay. So that's free. That was a gift. That was a little sermon gift. But here's
a sermon gift. Am I a Nikki fan? I wanted to say that. All day I've been thinking, am I a Nikki fan? A sermon gift. Thank you, Jen. Wow, that was so incredibly awesome. Well done. What a great fucking sermon gift.
what I can't take anymore, okay? Our world is crazy. Our world is bananas. Our world is nuts. And I can't take any more people saying like, you know, woe is me, or like, this is happening to me. You know, we cannot control what happens to us. We can't control what happens around us. We can't control what other people do. You know what we can control? We can control a couple things. We can control our own actions and reactions. Okay?
You can't handle people saying woe is me. First off, disrespectful and super fucking smug. I can't stand this woe is me. Excuse me, what do you even mean by that? Show me an example. Would love to see an example. For me, when she says this, it's just like she's frustrated that people on her downline aren't working, and maybe she's heard them say like they're having a hard time or life's been very difficult, or this whole like woe is me idea that she's trying to put out there, and that's frustrating her. So it's not that she can't handle this woe is me thing, it's that she can't handle people not making her money. And that boss lady mug, I'm gonna throw a fit. You know what, Jen? I can't handle people who can't handle people who say woe is me. How's that? I see this idea as people intentionally refusing empathy because they're being affected by people who are having a hard time. And by that, I mean her bank account, her business, her quote unquote business. It's not her business. Her 1099 contract income from Scentsy. Also, I heard that like they didn't quit, that they were like kicked out of Scentsy essentially. Terminated. Anybody got the tea? I'm curious.
And we can also control, I think people don't understand this, but we can also control what we allow in our life. So you might think this is harsh, but if you are broke, it's because you're allowing that to happen in your life. And if you are rich, it's because you are allowing that to happen in your life. Being broke and being rich are both choices, friends, and we can control what we allow to happen in our life and what we allow to speak into our life or be in our life. And that doesn't...
Did she just say being broke and being rich are both choices? I'm sorry, but that is just the fucking dumbest shit I've ever heard. You think people intentionally choose to be broke? I cannot. Is it lack of education? What is it? Why do people say dumb shit like that? They're so out of touch. They're privileged is what it is. For her to say something like that makes me question her ability to function as a fucking human being in society. People choose to be broke and people choose to be rich. Are you serious? Are you just being a smug, angry person? Is that what it is? Like, do you genuinely believe that? Because if so, get help.
Include your financial situation too, okay? You can control what you allow.
You can control what you allow. What does that mean? In this sense of broke versus rich versus it's your choice. I can't empathize, I can't fathom, I can't make sense of what the hell is wrong with people like this. Other than privilege and like intentional ignorance. Like they can't genuinely believe that. And if they do, what the fuck? And you know what? MLM Bossbabe 101 right here, baby. Victim shame. Victim shame. Victim shame. Make you feel like it's your fault. Make you feel like this is a way that you can get out of it. Put you in more debt by acting like this is a good opportunity. Do you ever feel like a plastic bag? I just saw a plastic bag through my 4th story window, baby, going right across. ADHD. It's not capitalism. It's not final stage capitalism. It's not $8 eggs, anybody? $6 for the cheap ones, you know.
Take it from someone. Most of you don't know my story. A lot of my team knows my story, but before I found Scentsy and before I married my husband, I was actually $30,000 in debt, personal debt. I was in debt. I come from a mindset of like, I can't afford that, or I'm broke, or I won't be able to ever do that. And I grew up like that. I grew up in that kind of mindset.
Well, it sounds like you're just terrible with money. I hate this idea that saying that you're broke is a mindset. Like, if you're broke, you're broke. There are ways to get out of it if you are in the right place, right time. Not everyone can experience getting out of being broke. Also, in today's world, in the United States, being broke is the norm. Look what's going on. Like, that's the norm.
But I grew up in that kind of way where people said things like, oh, I can't have that, or oh, I can't afford that. And that used to be my first answer for a lot of things. And I would see things that I'd want, and I'd immediately tell myself, like, that's not for me, or I can't have that, or I'll never be able to afford that, or I can't stay on a vacation. And it's almost like a prejudice in a backwards way against people who change their life, and people who change their situation, and people who take care of things, and people who pay off debt, and people who can afford things.
Woe is fucking you. It's a prejudice in a backwards way. Woe is you. Real interesting turnaround we've had, isn't it? And I can tell she's trying really hard to be really nice and like blah 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 and like really whatever about it, but she's just a monster. That's plain and simple.
But I want you to know something, that people who are in that situation are there because they chose it. And people who are in that situation where they can afford things and can have nice things and can do what they want, and they have the freedom to say yes, and they have the ability to buy a safe car or live in a safe neighborhood or go on a vacation or save, it's because they chose that. And it's because that's what they allow in their life, and they're not accepting any other standard for that. So
they chose that their mommy and daddy are rich. How is she saying this with her full chest? This is so exhausting. How many times can I say it? Out of touch. If she genuinely believes this, there is something mentally wrong. Like, please seek therapy. For you to genuinely think that people choose to be broke, choose to not have healthcare, choose to be super ill and not be able to seek medical attention for it, to choose to not be able to feed their children, to choose to have to live on the street. You genuinely believe that?
I come from a place of $30,000 in debt, living paycheck to paycheck, being super broke, never being able to say yes, and in fact always having to say like, no, that's not for me. No, I can't afford that. No, oh, like I'll never have that, or oh, must be nice for them. Oh, they drive a Mercedes, must be nice. And it's, you know what? It's terrible. It's almost like a prejudice. Okay? It's almost like that people who have money or make good choices are bad or wrong. And you might not identify with this at all, but maybe you do. That's the life that I grew up in. That's the life that I come from. And I come from a place of thinking that someone who has nice things or has money or has freedom, like, and somehow, like, it's been handed to them, or that must be really nice, good for them. Like, and it's almost like a snootiness in a way, in a backwards way.
In a backwards way. Stop saying that. You sound ridiculous. Also, your anecdotal evidence doesn't mean shit. For the record, anecdotal evidence refers to information based on personal observation or stories rather than rigorous data or scientific research. It's often presented as isolated examples or personal experiences used to illustrate a point, but lacks the broader reliability or validity of evidence from studies. Your anecdotal evidence of you and your experience in life doesn't mean shit. All right?
And it's wrong. It's wrong. Because you know what? People that have that, it's because they chose it. People that don't have that, it's also because they chose it. Despite what's happening in the world, we still live in the land of opportunity.
That's a fucking joke. It might look that way to a scammer like you, a monster like you, Jen. Can you just stop saying wild shit so I don't have to pause every 2 seconds? I'm gonna try to let her cook, but no promises.
You still have the opportunity to change your situation. You still have the opportunity to change your future, and you still have the opportunity to change your life, your family's life, what you allow, what you don't allow, and it all starts with you and what you will allow in your life or what you won't. It's all about what you will settle for and what you will accept or what you won't. And frankly, I had come to a point in my life where I decided that I wasn't going to settle for that anymore, and I wasn't going to allow that anymore.
I realize I just don't like hearing her talk. That's probably why I don't let her cook. Can people get out of certain situations that they're in? Yes. Everyone? No, I don't think everyone has equal opportunity to do so. Absolutely not. No. For myself, if I put in a shit ton of effort and I was just posting videos and continuing it, boom, 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 and I built my YouTube up to where I don't have to work full time, I have that opportunity to do so. Now, I want a life, so I don't obsess over it because I like being with my friends, but I have that opportunity. So I could potentially get out of the situation that I'm in. Is it a horrible situation? No, not at all. Could it be better? Yeah, it definitely could. But not everyone has that opportunity. Some do, some don't. That comes from racism, that comes from misogyny. There's lots of reasons that people don't have these opportunities. Statistics and data show that it is not possible for everybody. I don't know if she's ignorant or if she just doesn't give a fuck. But she's saying this and it's just not true. She's saying it and it's not true. So hopefully she's just ignorant and we'll get her head out of her booty hole.
So I am now debt-free.
Congrats. Interesting. You're debt-free because you scammed people, in my opinion. You scammed people to be debt-free. Interesting. Wow. Not all of us can scam people and be okay with it, right?
I am no longer a slave to credit cards or people calling me or being afraid to answer the phone because it's a debt collector.
Girl, let's not downplay the word slave like that. Weird behavior, in my opinion. You're a slave to a credit card. I get the idea behind it, but there are better words.
I am no longer a slave to having to drive a certain type of car or live in a certain neighborhood or only be able to wear clothes from a certain store. I'm no longer a slave to that because I chose that I was not going to settle for that anymore.
How do I not pause it every 2 seconds? How the fuck do I not?
And I want you to know the whole point of this video, what I'm sharing with you, is because you don't have to settle for that either. That doesn't have to be your life. You don't have to struggle. You don't have to live paycheck to paycheck. You don't have to come from a place of, oh, that's not for me, or it must be really nice for them, but I'll never have that. That does not have to be your reality. That doesn't have to be the way that you roll. That doesn't have to be what your life looks like. That doesn't have to be what you allow. Your life, your future is completely up to you. And at some point, someone told me this and it struck a chord. And you know what? No one is coming to rescue you. You are your own rescue. Okay? And I'm not speaking in a spiritual sense. You are not your own rescue in a spiritual sense. Jesus is your rescue, and that's it. But in your life and your financial situation and your future, no one is coming to rescue you. You're not going to win the lottery. Your life isn't going to fall into place one day. Things aren't going to just magically work out. No one is coming to save you. You are your own rescue. You are the only one who can change the game.
How do you rescue yourself when you're tied down in chains and the key is in a different country? How do you rescue yourself? Figuratively speaking, you're tied down in chains that have got your whole body wrapped up and the keys in a different fucking country. Boss lady, I cannot.
You are the only one who can decide what you allow in your life or not. You and you alone, it's up to you. So if you're broke, it's up to you to fix it. No one's going to do that for you. You're not going to find a sugar daddy. You're not going to find a sugar mama. You're not going to win the lottery.
Well, all of those things just aren't, that's just not true. Like, yeah, you can find a sugar daddy, you can find a sugar mama, and you could potentially win the lottery. In fact, I think, statistically speaking, you're more likely to win the lottery than you are to, like, be at the top 1%. Is that true? I know you're more likely to profit gambling than you are in an MLM. And I have that statistic below. And I have a list below where when I say these things, I have sources below my description you can go through.
Change the game. Change your choices, change your mind, change what you decide you deserve, change what you decide that you'll allow, change what you decide you're worth. I can't take it anymore when I see people live a life of struggle, but whether you think so or not, that's by choice. Because living a life of freedom and living a life of not struggling is also by choice and is a result of intentional hard work and serious actions. It's a conscious decision to not allow that kind of crap to control you. Fix your mind. That's right. Fix your mind. You must fix your mind. I teach my team all the time. I say it all the time, and I really mean it. Every battle you ever face is won or lost in your mind. I truly, truly believe that. That's where it all begins. That's where it all starts. And even your battle of struggle, or your battle of your mind, or your battle of who you will allow in your life, or how you allow someone to treat you, or how you allow yourself to feel about yourself, or about what you deserve, or where you live, whatever. It's all starts in your mind, and deciding what you're worth, deciding what you will allow. Okay? So listen, I need you to hear me that I can't hear that anymore, and I can't deal with that anymore, and I don't really want to have people in my life that have that kind of mindset of like, oh, I'll never have that, oh, that's not for me, oh, I can't get that. Yeah, you can. So stop selling yourself short. If you're not having that, it's because you're choosing that. If you're not having that, it's because that's what you're settling for. And frankly, I
let her cook. How do you feel? Man, this is such a good classic MLM leader video. It is such a good classic one, right? Like, it is the epitome of a multi-level marketing leader. Monster. Terrible human being. Someone who potentially before wasn't like the worst, but maybe wasn't the nicest person, joining an MLM, getting to the top, and then blaming everyone for not being rich and successful, and also like hiding behind that when really she's just saying this because she's missing out on money, wanting more money, losing money. So ultimately she's saying all this, in my opinion, because she wants more money. She didn't actually give a fuck what you think. She just wants more money, or she's losing money and she's pissed off. It is the epitome of an MLM boss babe. And that is why people like myself are out here making these videos, because of people like Jennifer Anderson.
My mind, my heart, my brain, my family's future is too valuable for me to allow someone like that, or that kind of mindset, to be in my circle.
You're broke? Sorry, bitch. I can't be your friend. Sorry, I'm not friends with broke people. That's what I'm hearing. That's what I'm hearing.
My future, my family's future, the generations to come after me, and their mindset is way too valuable for me to risk it by being surrounded by people who have that kind of mindset. So if you have people like that in your circle, guys, it's time to change your circle. It's time to change your circle. And sometimes you have family members that are like that. Sometimes it's a spouse. Okay? You got to change your circle if that's
okay. Do y'all hear what she's saying? Do you hear what she's saying? Let's hear it again.
So if you have people like that in your circle, guys, it's time to change your circle. It's time to change your circle. And sometimes you have family members that are like that. Sometimes it's a spouse. Okay? You got to change your circle if that's
Divorce, bitch. Get a divorce. That's what she's saying. That's what I'm hearing her say.
the case. I mean it. And that might sound harsh, but guess what? It's all about choices and what you allow and don't allow. Have you heard a theme today? What you allow and what you don't allow. Being broke is a choice. Being rich is a choice. It's all about what you will allow yourself to have.
Could you imagine saying that with your full fucking chest? I couldn't.
So let me tell you, when I found Scentsy 9.5 years ago, first of all, let's be real. I can't imagine that I've been with Scentsy almost 10 years, almost a decade. I've never done anything that long except for be married. Truly, I was a job hopper. Like, I have tried, if you saw my resume, you'd be like, you did all that? And I did all that like 10 years ago. So by the time I was 25, I did so many things. And I was like super successful in all of them. I was always really great at all of it. Top of the whatever. Like, I always did really great. And then I found Scentsy and Scentsy's home. And I found my calling and I found my passion. And I found that through Scentsy, I have the opportunity to help others change their lives. And by doing that, my life in turn changes. Which is amazing, because there's no other thing you could do in this world that would be like that. Nothing. Everything else that you ever do in this world is about you, get to the top, take you, to go alone. Like, it's all about this rat race and like who can eat who. I mean, seriously, that's what everything is like. So the fact that I've found Scentsy and have the opportunity to help other people change their life, and I can take other people to the top with me, and I can help people build businesses and do things bigger and greater than I ever could, and then my life in turn just happens to find success, is really, really beautiful. And I found home.
Trigger warning for childhood illnesses and hospital-related situations. That is such utter fucking bullshit. As someone in the medical field, do you think I like finding cancer in a child? You think I like that because I found cancer in a child before, and I was the first one to do it because they came through ultrasound. You think I like that, knowing what I'm looking at? You think I enjoy that while this mother's holding her baby? I do it because it's important. I do it because I enjoy the idea of helping these people. I don't do it because it's a fucking rat race. Get your head out of your ass. That is the most ridiculous shit I've ever heard. I've seen some horrible things in my time in the hospital. I've heard some horrible things. And for her to say that makes me ill. Like, it makes me nauseous. She is so out of touch with humanity. It's a rat race. It's a rat race. Is it? I'm not racing anybody. Where's the rat race? Let me hop on. I'd love to get off this train of seeing a bunch of sick kids. I love to get off of this train of seeing children for months at a time, and then one day their nurse saying, I'm sorry, they didn't make it, so we won't need that ultrasound anymore. Oh, that is so frustrating to me. There are so many jobs out there where people genuinely just care about other human beings. And they don't get paid a lot. They just genuinely care about people. And they like what they do. They like there's enough moments that they enjoy that it's worth it. You know, I am happy to have been the person to find the cancer in the child, because I was there to be able to comfort that family, knowing what's going on. I was there to at least be able to give them a little bit more of a laugh, or a little smile, or like a good experience in the hospital before they found out the most devastating news of their life. Oh gosh, she got me on one. She's got me on one.
But what Scentsy did is Scentsy taught me that there's another option. Okay? Scentsy taught me that there's another option. And you know what? Before I found Scentsy, I never knew that there was another option. And I'm going to be real talk with you right now, and I really want you to listen to me. This is serious. Our whole lives, we are taught, go to school, go to college, get a job, work for someone else, have someone else sign your paycheck, and the way you get ahead is by working really hard. You work
Scentsy signs your paycheck. I'm not playing. Scentsy signs your paycheck, homegirl. What are you talking about? What are you talking about?
60 hours a week. You work 80 hours a week. You work yourself to the bone. You pick up extra jobs. You blah, 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 blah. That's what we're taught. That's what we're taught is the way that you get ahead. You save in your 401k and you do all these traditional things. That's what we're...
There's still 10 minutes of the video, and I'm gonna do it 1.25 speed, because I gotta get to work eventually, you know? I gotta go to work. I gotta cook dinner. And I'm tired of listening to her talk, to be honest. She's a monster.
We're taught is the way you get ahead. Scentsy showed me that there's another way to live. And when I mean another way to live, I mean life-changing income that is way more than I could have ever fathomed, but also way more than I could ever earn by working a 60 to 80 hour a week job and having someone else sign my paycheck. Not only that, financial freedom, but also freedom in the sense of, like, I can put my business on hold to spend time with my daughter or go get my hair done in the middle of the day, or I can pack up tomorrow and say, hey, let's go to the beach for several days because I can take my business with me. Also, I've worked really hard for the last decade to build a business that gives me this kind of freedom. I can send my daughter to whatever school she wants to go to. I can buy whatever kind of house I want to buy. I can drive whatever car I want to drive. And it's not about having those things, but it is about having the ability to say yes if I want to. It is about having freedom. It is about not having someone tell me that I have to self-quarantine because I went somewhere and I can't come to work and I have to take that time unpaid. It is about having the freedom to not have to ask someone to go to the bathroom or take a break, or when can I take my lunch hour, or have to clock in at a certain time or clock out. It is about having the freedom to work in my pajamas or put makeup on if I want to, or don't if I don't.
So you want everyone to do this, then who's going to be the one at the hospital when your kid's sick or when you're sick? Who's going to be the person helping you out with your taxes? Who's going to be the person to help fix your car when your car breaks down? Who's going to be the person to make sure your child's school is clean? Who's going to be the person to cook your child's food? Who's going to be the listen, I could go on and on. Who is it? Who's going to be the person to do it if everyone should be doing this? If you're making people feel bad for not being in this with you, who's going to be the person to do these things where people have to show up, they have to take a lunch hour, they have to have someone sign up? Who's gonna do it?
It's about having the freedom to go hiking with my daughter in the middle of the day, or work when she's napping, or get up at 5:30 if I want to, or stay up until 2:30 in the morning. That's what it's about. It's about freedom. It's about choices. It's about having the ability to say yes if you want to. And I need you to hear me, and I need you to understand that when you don't have the ability to say yes if you want to, that's life in prison. That's a self-inflicted prison.
So all these people, so the doctors in the emergency room there that are helping your child when they're ill, they're in prison. The nurses, myself, because God forbid we have to show up for work and take a lunch hour. What about the people at the auto repair shop? Are they in prison because you got a flat tire and you need someone to change your tire, or something is really wrong with your car and someone needs to look at it? They're in prison though. Maybe some people do feel like their job is prison, but not everybody feels that way. And you have to have these people who work at these establishments, who work at the bank, who work at the hospital. I keep talking about that because I work there, and like that is a need, like that is a must-have type of situation. And so like for her to be saying this, for her to be saying you're in prison, do you want people to help your ill children who know what they're talking about, or what? It just blows my goddamn mind.
That is a prison that you have created and allowed for yourself. That's not freedom. Working for someone else is not freedom. Having someone else sign your check is not freedom.
You know what is also not freedom? Someone being able to terminate you. Oh. Because I heard she got terminated.
And I'm not telling you that you have to be self-employed, and I'm not telling you that you have to start a Scentsy business, even though you should, and you should let me help you, because I will teach you everything I know. If you really want to learn, I will teach you everything I know, because I'm not afraid of sharing anything with you, because there are no secrets to success. I will teach you what I know, and I'm not afraid of sharing things with you, because statistically, everyone that I share things with, not everyone's going to do the things that they need to do to be successful anyway, and I know that from experience, because people quit, people give up, people are afraid of hard work. I'm not afraid to share with you how I've built my business and how I've gotten to where I've gotten. I'm not afraid to share that with you. I'm not afraid of competition. I'm not afraid of everyone swooping in, taking my, there's plenty of room at the top for all of us. And I'm not.
Literally, there's not, though. Like, speaking with facts and statistical data, there's not.
Versed in any other companies, but in Scentsy, there is plenty of room at the top for all of us. Orville, that's our owner, he calls it like a campfire, and the campfire is Scentsy, and we're all around the campfire, and the bigger the campfire grows, and the more people that join Scentsy, we just step back and step back and step back, and our circle gets bigger, and there's plenty of heat for everyone. Trust me, there's plenty of heat for everyone. Because you know what? I've been doing this for almost a decade, and I still meet people every day who've never heard of Scentsy, or who've never tried it, or love it but can't find a consultant, or who have been abandoned by their consultant because their consultant left. Well, guess what? I'm not going to leave. That is a secret to success. You don't quit. You don't.
Girl, you just left. How does this feel? Does it taste good? How does it taste? Bit bitter? Or were you fired? Terminated? That's the thing going around.
Abandon anyone. You don't give up, even if times are hard.
You did, or at least that's what you said. You said you gave up. However, the thought is that you were terminated. whatever. How's it feel?
You have in your life what you allow. And if you've been allowing anything other than freedom and choices and the ability to say yes, and you think it's time for a change, then let me help you. Let me help you. Let me show you what real freedom can really be. I didn't even know that there was another option until I found Scentsy. Trust me, I didn't even know that there was another way to live. I just thought you live in debt. You have credit cards. You pay bills until you die. You pay your mortgage until you die. I didn't even know that, like...
Do you not pay bills? Did you not pay your mortgage? People pay off their mortgage. That's part of life. I mean, not everybody, but like that's a thing. People do pay it off. Do you not pay bills?
Paying off your mortgage was a thing, and not having a mortgage payment. I'm here to tell you, it's a thing. I'm speaking from experience. Let me tell you, I didn't even know it was an option. I didn't even know there was another way to live. But there is. You can pay off your mortgage and not have a mortgage payment. You can go pay cash for a car. You can go pay cash for a house. Like, bro, you don't have to live the way you've been living. You don't have to settle for what you've been settling for. You don't have to accept all the things that you've been accepting and allowing in your life. There is another way. There is a different option. Join me. Let me help you. Let me teach you what I know. I am here to serve. I am here to show people how to be successful in their own right, whatever that is. Because guys, I can't take it anymore. I will not watch you struggle anymore. I will not watch you settle for less than the best. I will not watch you allow less than you deserve in your life. There is another way. You don't have to live this way anymore. You don't have to struggle. You don't have to have someone else be in control. That's not freedom, guys. Working for someone else is not freedom. Having someone else sign your paycheck is not freedom. Being in debt is not freedom. As long as you have debt, you will be a slave.
I wonder, as long as you have debt, you'll be a slave. Shove it. So someone was like, oh my gosh, she's lost so much weight. In her most recent video that I covered, like before this one, she looked a lot thinner. I wonder if it was Ozempic. This person is a top leader in Monet. Took Ozempic, okay, lost a bunch of weight, said that it was inflammation, but it was proven that it was Ozempic. Sarah Hill. The MLM Bossbabe does a really good job covering this whenever things go down. Specifically Sarah Hill and others too, but that's who I went to look at really quickly just to remind my brain who it was. And so I'm wondering maybe that happened too, and she was like, oh, it's my new MLM. Her new MLM is Pharmacy. So that's her new MLM, and I think that, you know, if it is Ozempic, which I think a lot of these MLM boss babes have used, which is fine, it's totally fine, but they say it's their MLM product. I'm like, okay, all right.
You will be a slave. Okay? Me and my husband, we do Scentsy full time. This is all we do. Just retired my husband from his career in corporate America from his 6-figure job.
You think he's gonna have to go back now that y'all quit? Or that you were terminated? Who knows, right? Who knows which one it is?
Okay? Also, let me tell you this. I'm going to leave you with this. Like I said, when I found Scentsy 9.5 years ago, I was $30,000 in personal debt and didn't know that there was any other way to live. I had credit card debt, I had student loan debt, I had poor choices debt, and then things would go into collections and it just gets worse and worse and worse and worse. And my credit was trashed, absolutely trashed. Today, because of hard work, intentionality, living below our means, never quitting, never giving up, my credit score is in the excellent range. And we built our dream home that I'm sitting in right now. I'm sitting on the...
How'd you do it? Was it by scamming people to join your Scentsy downline? I think it was that. In my opinion, that's what it was.
We built our dream home and purchased this dream home on my credit and my income. My husband was not even employed when we bought this house. My credit, my income. That's it. This house, my name is on the deed. My name. Your girl who comes from nothing, who had $30,000 in credit card debt, who had absolute credit and no one would even give her a credit card for $200.
I wouldn't say you came from nothing. But whatever, you know what? Whatever, who cares?
Your girl's name is on the deed. Your girl's name is how we bought this house. My income, my credit, bought this house. I just need you to know that. You can change. Let me also say my husband is freaking amazing, and he has provided so well for us over the last decade and helped set us up for serious success. And
yeah, he was making 6 figures. That's more than the majority of people in the United States. So yeah, he did. It's just interesting that she acts like before she made the big bucks, there was nothing. That's wrong. That didn't sound right.
he has made such smart financial decisions, and it's because of him that my mindset completely changed, and he taught me what could really be, and he taught me about money and how to manage money well and what I was settling for, and that those temporary things that you want, like a coffee here or a shirt there or a car, those things, like, those are really, really, at the end of the day, they're not going to add up to your name being on the deed of your dream house. My husband taught me, don't settle, don't trade what you want most for what you want at the moment. What you want at the moment is to spend money on that coffee or that car payment or that shirt or that thing that you think you need, but do not trade what you want most for what you want at the moment. I promise you it's not worth it. So I cut my spending. I became conservative. I worked incredibly hard. I lived well below my means. We did that together. We now have rental properties that provide income. We now
so it's not just your Scentsy business.
have freedom. Neither one of us have a traditional job. We only work the Scentsy business, which has been a life-altering experience. And it's all about choices and what you allow. You get to choose. So if you're ready for a different life, let me help you. Because I've been there, and I know what it's like. And you don't have to do that no mo. I love you.
What was that last bit? Whatever. All right. Thank God. I got my eye on you, Jen. Don't worry. You made the list, baby. Get excited. Let me know your thoughts. I am sure many of you already have let me know your thoughts in the comments for this video, because she said a lot of shit that a lot of people have opinions on. So don't forget to share your opinion below. Don't go to her. Just keep it in the comments. Also, if you want to support the channel for free, don't forget, simply hit the subscribe button and the like button. I would appreciate that. Shout out to my amazing editor, Ava, who covered her before and has an anti-multi-level marketing channel of her own that you should go take a look at. Thank you again for being here. I greatly appreciate it, and for sticking through that one, because that was fucking painful to listen to be honest. I hope you have a wonderful day. I'll see you next time. Don't forget that I have a video of her before this that you're welcome to go watch. Bye.
Show you what I'm all about. Make up for what we lost. Tonight is the night that we're gonna fall in love. I don't care about you and him. I don't care about what has been. I only care about yours.